Has like a white.
Yeah, bro.
Has like a white spot.
How do you know if the person is being think about Hard Knocks.
Because I saw it in
There's a lot of
they tried to make
most of them are.
Maybe it was in the wrong box, second box?
Yeah, there's two boxes. There's one. That was the whole new class. I had to redo
I read it somewhere they were trying to.
Yeah, it's just, so they have the basically I want to read it. When she definitely it's a little different. It wasn't that bad. It's just sort of like slight little portion. Where it's like yeah, you go I think I don't get it. Anyhow, so this bill got referred to as you got an idea. There's that's funny.
Every door.
Yes.
Come on, you can't.
I know.
Yes, the president. Do you want our President Wilson?
Over there?
Why don't you turn off President Wilson?
Say
all right.
it, you turn it off.
Thanks. I'll have my say. I call this meeting of South Dakota School Minded Student Association Senate to order. Let's stand and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. BB, please take the roll. Baumeister. Byrne. Here. Butcher.
Here.
Kent. Here. Clausen. Graham.
Here.
Halsted.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Jensen. Jessen.
Here. Here.
Jensen.
Here.
King. Here. Clobber. Here. Keel.
Here.
Meyer. Salcido.
Here.
Sattler.
Here.
Schaefer.
Here.
Senchen.
Present.
Smith.
Here.
Stolman.
Here.
Severson.
Here.
White.
Here.
Wright.
Here.
Molovic.
Here.
Full set. Wow. Look at that, thank you. You know, here's a goal, folks. We just got back from Shed. Here's a little off note. When they take attendance, it's a beautiful thing. When they take attendance in the House and Senate, they have their, person call out the attendance, except they must have already have it tabulated or something. They know who's there. And they just list out the names. And you hear people yelling out, here, 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 and it's just the whole entire tally. That is what I'm training you all to do. Next week, bring the big boy voices. It better be there. Because I want it recorded. All right, moving on. Approval of the agenda. I sent that out this morning. Pretty self-explanatory. Any questions, comments? Do I have a motion? Severson. Motion approved. Seconded by Senator Smith. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Objections? Agenda approved. The minutes, they were sent out days ago. It was great. Any comments, questions, concerns about that? Was there an Easter egg put in? No? Give it.
Update.
Yep.
So, I told some people, but everyone knows, I had the wonderful opportunity to tear my ACL over winter break. So I'm fine, we're all good, but I'm having surgery to fix it next Friday, the 6th. So the week after, I'm not sure how I'll be feeling. I'll either be here in person or I'll be here watching online. So just a heads up, if my attendance is spotty, that's why.
All right. Do I have a motion? Senator Wright.
Point of clarification, just wanted to make sure the meeting minutes were adjusted, the voting count was off.
Yes. All edits that were sent in were done. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't respond to the email. My bad.
Got it. All right, Senator Sattler.
I have it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Senator Meyer.
Motion approved.
Motion approved, seconded by Senator White down there. All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Objections? Minutes are approved. All right, tonight we have open floor guest Dr. Robert Hall, Department Head of the Mining Engineering and Management Department and the Geology and Geological Engineering Department. Take it away.
What do you want me?
You can stand up front and present. We got a clicker here for you.
Cool. Well, I don't have to follow Dr. Kowalski because he's an arts mathematician. So I just want to take you quickly through who I am. I've got an undergrad in mechanical engineering, worked in heavy industry for a while, then a master's in mechanical, PhD in mining, both on the mining equipment side. Spent 15 years at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. I served as an associate dean responsible for students in that faculty, and our engineering program was about twice the size of the school. It was a 50,000 person university. Then I went on to UBC for 5 years, and then I moved here in August of 2020, right in the middle of COVID. I'm head of 2 departments here. I originally came here to be head of the mining department, mining engineering and management. In that department, we have 6 faculty, 2 undergrad programs, undergrad program in mining engineering and another one in business management and technology. And we have masters and PhDs on the mining side. Then on geology and geological engineering, I've got 10 faculty. I don't know, it changes, no, 10 or 11. We have an undergrad in geology and undergrad in geological engineering. We have a master's in geology and geological engineering and a PhD in both of those. And we have a master's in paleontology, which a lot of our undergrads come in to geology because they view it as a pathway to doing a master's in paleontology. I also have lots of expensive hobbies. So this is my airplane. I think it's on a lake in Alberta. I just flew this plane. It's got a different call sign. Airplanes are registered by country. So if it's the C, it's a Canadian airplane. C, Golf Juliet, Quebec, Lima. Now it's in 65 Romeo Hotel. I was born in 65, and RH should be obvious, Robert Hall. And so I flew that to Pier on Sunday for the legislative session and came back Tuesday morning. And just a couple of pictures from our students. We do a lot in both departments, and we're doing some. So they're 2 separate departments, and I manage them as 2 separate departments. We're trying to do efficiencies where we can. And so these are some pictures. Every fall and spring, we try to do a field trip with the geology students. And in geological engineering, it's fundraised. We're raising for rockers. So this fall they went to Wind Cave. Last spring they went to Big Bend National Park. I was really choked that I couldn't go. A couple years ago I went to Yellowstone, and it was, for Labor Day weekend, it was incredible. It was like a guided tour of camping and about the geology of Yellowstone. And then I'm going to get right into some numbers, just to give you a feel how we are compared to other departments. So this for geological and geological engineering. I only did undergrad because I assumed if you want questions about graduate programs, I can. So we have 150 to 165 total undergraduate students in both programs. And then if you break that down to geology, it's the same thing. I didn't rehearse this, obviously. Ignore that one. So if we look at geological engineering, this might be the geology students actually. Yeah, it is. So if we look at the geology student numbers have been pretty high. Then we go into our geological engineering. You can see that it took a significant hit in terms of undergraduate freshmen coming in. So when I started as interim in 2022, and then became permanent department head in 2023. So I reallocated some money that we had for graduate fellowships into undergraduate scholarships for geological engineering, and it's paid off. I mean, I think last year we got every student that we accepted coming into geological engineering. And this for the geology students. You can see the geology program is quite a bit more popular, and a lot of that is because students want to come and take the Masters in Paleontology. But I tell them, it's like going into science wanting to be a doctor. The percentage that get to be doctors in Canada is about 5%, 5 to 10%. I suspect it's similar here. And yeah, so geology freshmen. Then, so that's kind of a high level over the number of students in geology and geological engineering. Then I'm going to talk about the mining program a little bit. So again, we try to get our students out. Most of the time, the geologists are out in the field a lot. I mean, the Black Hills is amazing for geology. You can drive within 15 minutes and have a living lab. For the mining side, this is a picture over at Pete Lean. I usually try to take the freshman students out in the fall over to Pete Lean just because they can feel and touch and walk around, drive around the mine sites. So we did that. And then our total enrollment, it's pretty similar to, and this includes graduate students, to the geology program with 6 faculty versus 10. We have a lot of online masters. I was just talking with Austin. We have a lot of students from Ghana that came over a couple of years ago. 2 faculty went to Ghana to do some recruiting, and there's a lot of interest in our programs. Then undergrad, we peaked in 2015, and I think the school peaked in 2015, and since then it's been try to maintain and grow, and it's not unique to us. It's across the country and across Canada as well. The number of students going into mining really dropped after 2015. It's starting to come back now. And so this should tell you freshmen. In 2020, the fall of 2020, when I got here, we had 7 freshmen. And that, I got here in August, and I go, oh my goodness, right? So we've really spent a lot of effort trying to educate potential students of who we are and the value that we offer and things like that. BMIT program. The BMIT program has been around about 7 years, and we have really pretty decent enrollment, but we don't get a lot of freshmen. what usually happens is students will come in and realize that mechanical engineering is not for them, or civil, or even mining, but they still want to stay here. And maybe because they're an athlete, we get a lot of athletes. And
What is BMIT stand?
business management and technology.
All right,
So it's not an engineering degree. It's a blend of technology and management. And we couldn't call it just business because according to the BOR rules, we can't offer a business program because Black Hills State offers a business program in the state. But it's business. So some of the students will go into sales, project management, things like that. So all of our students have jobs that graduated. Any other questions? And so so that's numbers. Any questions on the numbers? So one of the things, because we're small, is for engagement with students, we do lots of outdoor activities, welcome back events. We usually have a potluck for the geology and geological engineering students. The mining, we have call it All Mines event, where we bring in pizza and invite all the students to come in and just give them a department update like I'm doing like this. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. That's kind of one of the challenges. Throughout the year, we do a joint potluck with both departments. So in February, if you happen to be wandering around February, before President's Day, Thursday before President's Day, there'll probably be food on the third floor. So that's a lot of fun. Most of the faculty, I have an open door policy. I'm not always in my office, but when I'm in my office, the door is open unless I'm in a meeting so that I can interact with students. And we have a lot of clubs for the size of our faculty. The mining department has 4 that are active. Geology and geological engineering has 3 that are active and a couple that are kind of struggling to be active. So we try to spend a lot of time investing in our students, not only in the classroom, but in co-curricular activities. So some of the things that we're working on, improving and goals. So we do peer review of teaching. It started in the geology department. It's now a campus-wide policy that departments will do peer review of teaching. That's where you'll have a team of 3 people, usually 3. They'll review your course material. They'll come into the classroom, watch you present, and then they'll give you feedback. And it's meant to be formative, so it's meant to help the instructor be better. We also do, I mentor faculty, and we have assigned mentors for new faculty. I read every comment on the IDEAS surveys that you put in, and if there's some that need to be addressed, I've addressed with the faculty. I've had to do that. I've had to do that with HR before. I've had to do it with Dean Joe before. So we take those seriously. I mean, sometimes if you say he's an idiot or she's an idiot, well, I can't do much with that, right? But if you make something constructive or give me examples of where they haven't been doing, that, then we try to address it. All of the mining department, we've all taken QPR training. I think geology took QPR training before I got on board, but we'll try to do that again. And we have very active industrial advisory boards, and we have subcommittees on those advisory boards that work with us to make sure that we're providing our students with the right education so they want to hire them and giving us feedback. And we've the 3 departments in the new core minerals. Yep, sorry, go ahead.
What is QPR?
Question, persuade, and refer. So it's for somebody that's in a mental health crisis. And so if somebody comes into your office, it gives you the tools you don't let them walk away. You either walk them over here if you're really concerned, but you question to see what's going on, and then you persuade them that maybe they should think about getting help, and then you refer them, and that might be walking them over to them, depending on the severity of the situation, or saying, well, maybe you should go seek counseling or things like that. Good question. Active advisory board. So some of our goals is, we're always struggling to get, the whole school is struggling to get more students, but we're usually, and again, anywhere in the US and Canada, the mining department is usually the smallest program on campus, so we're always under the gun when you look at from the bean counter's perspective. So we do a lot of outreach. We created videos with our advisory board, and we're all going to go to Sturgis Brown's Career Fair here on February 18th. I've gone to Minnesota and spoke at high schools with some of our recruitment officers, so we do a lot. I went to Nevada and did a route around northern Nevada going to high school career fairs. Some of the things that I've kind of tried, but I want to do more, is like when I was Associate Dean of Students at University of British Columbia, we had what's called the beef and the pizza. So as the Associate Dean, I brought the pizza, and the students would come and bring the beefs. And so we'd just sit and have a discussion and see what, and this would be across all disciplines, right? So just because I was responsible for all engineering students, 5,000 of them, and just hear what they had, what was working, and why we couldn't, why we couldn't address it, or why we could, and things like that. So I tried to do that in the department, but I want to try to do it again and maybe just put up some flyers and see what I get. And then we haven't really done SGID, so small group instructional development. I can't remember the D. Small group instructional something. That's why I told you I haven't done it. So, but it's becoming, a lot of faculty are using it, and it's small groups working including students. So I might come into one of your classes and work with a couple of students and understand what the instructor does well and what they could improve on, and then we give that feedback back to the instructor. And again, persistence, retention. So persistence, if you're not familiar, is moving from first freshman year, fall freshman, into second term freshman. So this is pulled from averages. BMIT, it had 1 year fall, it was 50%. But again, it might have had 2 students in there, but other than that, it was 100%, so I put approximately 100%. So the university's goal is 93, so most of and I suspect all of our programs fluctuate depending on the year, but that's another goal that we're working on to improve the opportunities for our students to stay here. And I'll entertain any questions or any additional questions.
Senator Wright.
Are there any major events, competitions, conventions from any department that you manage, or any associated club that relates to your department?
Yeah.
That's happening this spring?
This spring, yeah. So Dominic just got back from International Society of Explosive Engineers in Nevada, Reno.
Reno, yeah.
How many students did we take?
We took 7.
7, and there were a couple thousand people there or more at the event.
At the event, there's probably only 300.
300? So that's happening. The Society of Mining Engineering is happening in Salt Lake City, February 22nd. I think we've got 10 or 12 students going.
I think it's 12.
12 going to that, and so they're funded by fundraising and donations. So that's 2. Last March, we went to England with the mining and mucking team for an international competition. So I got to go along with Dr. Allard and some other people. So, and then we've got there's an event for that same team in Arizona in March. And so yeah, there's a fair number of events happening. I don't know all of them, but
Senator Wright.
Anything upcoming in Rapid City by chance for the spring?
Question. Well, we're probably going to do a spring field trip. I'm not sure exactly when that is. Anything else?
Senator Clausen.
Yeah, so it seems students in your program are really happy with it. Would you say that you're doing different than other programs that you?
We're small.
Okay.
I mean, mining's got, we had 13 freshmen this year, right? So if you go into a second, we have, it's like everybody else, math and physics first term. We've got 1 mining course to take this term, and so there'd be 25 students in that. So part of it's small. I think a lot of our professors are approachable because a lot of us have industry experience, or we consult currently as well. So we're not, we're just, and I mean, I tell everybody it's a family when you come into the resources industry, because, I mean, if you wanted a connection in Australia, I've got them. If you wanted a connection in Brazil, I have a friend that's got them. It's just that network of a community in the industry. So.
Senator Beaumont.
I really was actually going to ask a very similar question to what Clausen just asked you. We're taking a lot of time as Senate to kind of dig into the different departments and figure out what's not going well, what is going well, and try and improve departments and where they're struggling. You seem to be doing really well.
I think
and have a lot of experience.
I think we're doing reasonably well. One area of weakness that we need, and I didn't put it up there, but thanks for reminding me, is that because most of the BMIT classes are online that we teach in the department, the BMIT courses are online, and then they're from industrial engineering. They don't seem to feel like you don't see them a lot around. Like they don't feel part. And I don't know if you say that as well, Dominic. They don't feel like they're part of the department as much, maybe as the mining students or the geology and geological engineering students. So that's something we can be better at. We also have a lot of scholarships that help, which is what when I lost my train of thought a while ago is our building is, I think, one of the few 3 departments on campus that I can offer freshman scholarships. So, if they've got money that makes them happy too sometimes. But.
Senator Meyer.
I was just thinking about, you were talking a lot about getting feedback to your professors, like on whether they're teaching well or not, and the IDEA survey. And I was just kind of wondering, since you're a small department, how do you think that the IDEA surveys are keeping you in touch with the students? Like, how much do you think that IDEA surveys help keep you in touch with the actual like happenings in your course?
I mean, I think that the IDEA surveys capture really poor behavior and really exceptional behavior, and the mediocre. You know, my son was a student at UBC when we moved into online. This is 20 years ago now, probably, but or 15. And I said, "Do you do the student evaluations?" And he says, "No." He said, "If they're really good, I might. If they're really bad, I might." So, I think the comments are quite valuable sometimes. And I mean, we as a professor, I'm teaching a course this term. I take them seriously. I mean, it's kind of always like, it's like, am I going to be depressed after I read them, or am I going to be, it's kind of a stressful time for faculty, because we do take them seriously. I think the peer evaluation also helps. I've got one faculty, she's a new faculty. She did a survey after every class, her own survey, to figure out what this learning was to improve it. I think that's a bit excessive personally, but that's what she was doing. So there's a lot of. But, and I try to encourage students just to come and talk with us, talk to me, or if ideally if you have a challenging with a professor, try to resolve that. If not, come to me, and then if you can't get it resolved to me, then Dean Joe's there. Right. But usually we can resolve it at the faculty level or my level. So.
Because I know your department's small, so I was just kind of wondering if it, like, from your perspective, if you felt like it actually reflected all the things and happenings that are going on in the course. It's
hard for me to say, not being in the room, but I mean, the numbers are pretty, the numbers on campus, I don't know what the average for effective teacher, effective class, but I bet it's 4 or over out of 5 on campus. And so that's, we get a numeric scale for those two. So I think it's reasonably reflective, but there's other ways to get feedback from students.
Right.
Would somebody be willing to donate their time to Dominic? Senator Burke? Okay, thank you. Dominic?
My question is, I know the budget's a little bit low after the new building, but in the future, do you consider there to be a possibility of like having a testimony for the department?
Oh, did Professor Bowen put you up for that?
No.
We're exploring it. So some like Colorado School of Mines, Montana Tech, and University of Arizona have an actual mine that they can go out to, and they can drill, and they can blow stuff up, and they can do other mining related activities, and they're underground. So Professor Bowen is working on a proposal to take the Otho site and create a test mine for our school out there, and it could be potentially used for other things. So I mean, I think it's once we see that proposal, and then we'll evaluate it. I guess other things we need to raise money for. The challenge, some of the people that donated to the building are still paying off their 5-year pledges as well. But we're hoping that we can just keep them. They get used to spending $50,000 a year. They can just keep giving $50,000 a year. We're hoping. But.
Senator Burke.
So you mentioned, did you say Montana State?
Montana Tech.
Montana Tech and
Colorado School of Mines, University of Arizona. Those are there might be more. Those are the 3 that I can remember for sure.
How big of competitors are they for you? Like, how would you say?
Montana Tech gets a few of our students. A lot of students, they like to stay close geographically, it seems. If the program they want is offered, we get students from Nevada that come here. We get students from California. So there's right now there's 14 mining programs in the U.S. We have a committee at the Society of Mining Engineers and Exploration and Environmentalism. We meet at least once a year in person at this conference. It's happening in February, and we talk about what's going well. So we try to. It's a big family, right? Some of them have either studied under each other, so we try to work together as well. So there's some competition, but not a lot.
Could you provide an update on 2 areas that I know, like when I came here as a prospective student, paleontology was a big thing. They made a big deal about how they have thousands of fossils that haven't been sort of uncovered or developed, you might say. And so just an update on that, but also there's been a push in the last couple of years a little bit, stirrings on the petroleum industry. and sort of how that's incorporated with geological and
Okay.
geology and stuff like that.
So one thing that we have started related to the Paleo program 2 years ago was a non-thesis option. Because right now in the department we have 2 Paleo faculty that can supervise master's or PhD students, and typically they're funded from a grant. And paleontology, and again, I'm not a geologist, mechanical engineer, remember, but there's a lot of hands-on activity associated with a master's or PhD in paleontology because some of these specimens will take hours to clean. And so I think there's decades worth of specimens in the museum or the PRL, Paleontology Research Lab, that to be cleaned. And we also have volunteers that get trained and they go in and help clean them as well. So that's ongoing, and it'll be ongoing when I'm gone. What was the second question, sorry?
Petroleum engineering.
Petroleum engineering. We have a minor in petroleum engineering. It's mostly chemical students that are taking it, and we've just changed some of the courses in that because we had a petroleum field camp, which we never had enough students that we could afford to offer it here in Rapid City area. There was one in Iceland or Turkey or somewhere, which was really expensive for somebody from here to have to go to because you have to pay to do it. So we've moved that as it used to be required for the petroleum engineering minor. Now it's optional, and we've added a couple of other courses to make it more attainable. There's still not a lot of interest from our students, it doesn't seem, in petroleum. It's the same thing on the mining side. The coal industry struggles to get students to go working in coal because the way the media is going, that coal is going away and oil is going away. Well, it's not going away in my lifetime and probably not yours, but there's still that perception with some of our students. So.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank
coming.
you.
We appreciate it. All right. Up next, we have Dr. Travis Kowalski, the department head for the mathematics department. Take it away.
Thank you. Well, thank you everybody for letting me talk to you. I don't think I've ever talked to you before, and I'm not going to quite have the same version that Dr. Hall had because I didn't know I was giving you lots and lots of numbers and head counts, so I can tell you those because it's relatively easy. Unlike that poor sap who has 2 different departments and 8,000 programs, I'm the head of one program. We're the mathematics department. We have 1 undergraduate program and 2 specializations, so I run a very small ship. And as much as you're whining about a small department, hold my beer. So, let's tell you a little bit about this. So, math at a glance. We offer the 1 degree. It's now the Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. If you've been here long enough, it was called the Applied and Computational Mathematics degree. And we found out from surveying students who went away who said, no, this isn't the place for me, that one of those 2 words would very often scare them. So they were maybe interested in doing computational math, but I don't want to do applied math. I'm just interested in or they wanted to go and be applied mathematicians, like I want to be a computer scientist. And so we just decided to drop the adjectives that scared people and make the degree a little bit more flexible. We've got an average enrollment of about 40 students at any given time, and we have pretty flat enrollment. We had a spike a while back ago when we were at 56. And normally, I think our nadir has been maybe about 35. But 40 is pretty common for us. We've got about 30 to 40% of our students are women, and about 30 to 40% of our faculty are women, and about 30 to 40% of our majors are double majors. So we're the most popular double major. So if someone has a double major, chances are pretty good that math is the second end of that one. I'm the date you bring to graduation, but or I guess I'm your backup date to graduation. In the department, we're small on the student side, but we're pretty large on the faculty side. We have 16 full-time faculty, plus 1 administrative assistant, hopefully someday in the future. And we usually hire about 1 or 2 adjuncts for the lower level introductory courses. We are primarily a service program on this, or service department on this campus. We teach 8,500 credit hours every year, and 96% of those credit hours are not to my students. So they're to all of you guys. And that's the thing that we like to go and do. We are primarily invested in making sure that we train engineers and scientists as well. We also run the slide rule. So the slide rule isn't connected to student success. That's a math department initiative. We staff it. We make sure that the faculty give some of their office hours over there. The slide rule serves about 400 students every semester from courses originally from pre-calculus to Calc 2, but as more and more students have started to use the slide rule and have been here for a while, they keep coming back for Calc 3, they keep coming back for Diff, and enough of our tutors can do those courses, so we've just kind of grown to that one. Sorry if you're coming in for Providence Stats, I don't have enough tutors for that one. You've got a whole bunch of blank stares unless you get good faculty. By the way, he's not a mechanical engineer. I'm not any engineer. I'm a liberal arts mathematician. And I kept that quiet for the first 6 years I was here. And then when I got tenure, I could tell everybody that I don't do engineering. We also host something called the West River Math Contest. It is South Dakota's oldest college-run math contest. It used to serve about 200 to 300 students, and then under the leadership of Michelle Richard Greer, it's grown to between 400 and 500 students from 3 different states, 46 different middle and high school students last time. It's one of the best outreach opportunities. So if you are, for example, interested in talking to students who are STEM interested, who are good at STEM, and who are maybe interested, you should keep an eye out when May rolls around to help proctor or to help do tours, because I have a target-rich environment for all of you when the WRMC pops up. So this is just a quick glance at who the faculty are. We have 8 professors and we have 6 lecturers. There they are up on the board. We are currently searching for replacements for 2 folks. You might know that, somebody might know who Dr. Fleming was. He left last year because his wife got her dream job. You might also know who Paul May is. He left to a different building. So I'm hiring 2 different folks to replace those guys, one in the professor track, one in the lecture track. I'm also currently looking for a new secretary, so I'm really down right now. I'm running, it's an all hands on deck. We put duct tape on all the classrooms and hope for the best. One of the things that I at least wanted to point out is some of the stuff that our faculty go and do, because math research and sometimes math accolades don't quite fit what we do here at this school. So I just want to give a couple of shout outs. I'm going to toot my own horn right now. I am unfortunately or unfortunately now the chair of the Rocky Mountain section of the Mathematical Association of America. I get sworn in April. I'm the chair-elect right now. I get sworn in April and then get to manage the affairs for a lot of math departments that are in the Rocky Mountain region of the country. Dr. Garlett took the award last year. She got the Anenda Award for Teaching Excellence. That's awarded here on campus. Professor Richard Greer won the Service Award for managing the West River Math Contest. Dr. Neil Steinberg is the newest member of the department, although we hired him 5 people ago, just by the way things move around. He devised 4 different undergraduate research projects in 4 different areas last year, one of which, the one in Numerical Study Groups, turned into a publication in the Involved Journal. And even the ones who retired don't go away. Some of you might remember Don Teets. He retired 2 years ago. He has an office right across from mine. I see him more now than when he was employed here. And in that time, he's managed to write 2 papers and get a 3rd one to win the Hallmost Lester Award, which is a national award from the Mathematical Association of America. He is now among 2 people in the math department who have 2 different MAA National Writing Prizes in their collection. I am the other one. So, we have a deep bench for such a little school. It's fantastic, just like in all of the other programs. It's amazing. So, like I said, we are a service program. This is kind of what we do. This is my bread and butter, is a boatload of Count 1, Count 2, Count 3, differential equations, probability, and statistics. Nowadays, we teach 3 sections of linear algebra and numerical analysis to help support ME. We teach 2 sections of ionic structures to support computer science. We do 1 section of probability and stats 2 every semester, except for this one. Is there anybody in here who I pissed off? I had to lose one of them because I'm down so many people this semester. We do 1 section of partial differential equations every year, and we're adding new courses. So we're adding a course in linear optimization, and we're adding a course in time series analysis to support the data science and engineering program. So we have this is why I have so many people on staff, is we have so many courses, and we're trying to make sure that we get everybody covered, the things that need to get done. In addition to the classes that we offer, we are trying to push out and offer more online classes. That's the thing that we're kind of late to the game with. So our goal is to be able to offer at least one online section for all of the core service classes, everything from trig up to probability and statistics. We hired Jill Trimble last year to start laying the groundwork for that one. And so with her, we've been able to make sure that we have a trig, a Calc 1, a Calc 2 offered every single semester. And then we've been running trial runs of Calc 3 differential equations and probability and statistics. The goal is to have that be an option every semester for students who need those courses and need them regularly. Jill's also training some of our new adjuncts to be able to go and use the same model so that we have, we'll be able to have sort of a better fleet to go and handle the online courses. So we're trying to lay the groundwork to spread out that way. Yeah?
Is that including like summer semesters and stuff like that?
Summer semesters are always online.
Like offering a props and stats.
So yeah, every summer we have traditionally offered a trig, if it fills, Calc 1, Calc 2, Calc 3, differential equations, probability and statistics, and probability and statistics too.
Okay.
So yeah, the core. The core's there.
In addition to that.
Sorry?
It's in addition to that, like during the regular semesters you're trying to do that.
Yep, exactly. I want every single semester, I want to have an online for each one of those things. So during the fall and the spring, I'd like to be able to have that as an option for everybody. In addition to that, so I want to spend a little time talking about this because it's very often an elephant in the room and it's something that we have been working on a long time. This is a graph that I am not happy about. This is the DFW rates for the service courses in the math department. This is not hidden information. You can find this information that's out there. And this is the plague. And in the plague, you saw DFW rates that went up to 70, 80%. I taught a college algebra class the semester after, and I had a 70% fail rate. I had students who did not have the tools after what had happened the spring before. And so we have dedicated a lot of our time and energy on trying to turn this thing around. Since 2001, we have been working to increase the coordination in the intro sequence. So prior to the pandemic, I had institutional research take a look at how student success was.
I'm sorry, what is the...
P2C2? Yeah, let me get to that. Sorry, I'm so used to this particular phrasing. Yeah. So we had institutional research take a look at how student success was tied to a student's first attempt at their first placement in pre-calculus to calculus 2, known colloquially as P2C2. So P2C2 is that intro sequence, pre-calculus, trigonometry, Calc 1, Calc 2. So where did you place in that first sequence? Your success in that first class, how did it affect how you did? And what we found out is that success in those first classes, particularly trig and Calc 1, have a very big effect on your eventual success at Mines. And so we focused our attention on those courses. And so in 2001, we worked to start improving coordination in those classes. We have always had common course learning outcomes, but part of the tradition of this campus has been a lot of academic freedom. And so instructors had a wide array of methods that they were using in these courses. For those intro sequences, because students are being placed into them without their, they get placed by the registrar, we want to make sure that those experiences were pretty uniform. And so we've been putting together efforts to make those a little bit more standardized. In 2022, we launched the slide rule so that we can start providing support at students' schedules. And that would just be dropping. We want to make it as easy as humanly possible. So we started out in the Mineral Industries building. They were kind enough to give us a room for a year. And then we got the nice space in the library. And we've been running that and trying to get better and better at that. In 2023, we specifically started doing some things in Math 123 and Calc 1 based off of what it was that we had gotten from student feedback from the idea surveys. Updated the learning outcomes, put common grade cutoffs, put common grade percentages, made common finals, addressed a lot of the problems that we had gotten from student opinion survey results in the previous years, especially the 2 years right after the pandemic. And so it's not a silver bullet. We work, we tinker, but we have been doing better. This is the historic trend line in the service courses. 28% DFW rate. That is the national DFW rate for upper level courses. in a STEM school. This is kind of what we were hoping for. This is what we have been doing for a while, and we are getting back to that one. Not quite there yet. I'm hoping the fall 2025 results, we were right back in that ballpark. So we are moving back the direction that we want to. And so we're just going to keep working on this one, trying to improve Calc 1, Trig, and Pre-Calculus, those courses in particular, because they're the ones that we have data set that say have the biggest effect on a student's long-term success. They are also, so the red line is Pre-Calculus, so those are the students who aren't ready for Trig yet. And then Calc 1, the students who are coming in with a battery of different backgrounds. Once upon a time, you only got into Calc 1 by having the AccuPlacer or the AP exam. And now you can have a dual credit for a Trig, maybe dual credit for Pre-Calculus. We have a lot more students coming in with a lot wider array of backgrounds. And so we've noticed a spike in Calc 1 of students who are maybe less prepared for Calc 1 than they were prior to the pandemic, just because of the changes in the way students are getting their pre-calculus education in high school. All right, on the research side, just so you have an idea, what is that math people go and do? Our research is divided really into 3 big areas. We have faculty who do research in pure mathematics, someone like me. So people who do mathematics in pure, or do research in pure mathematics, we do math because we think it's pretty. If I tell you what I'm working on and you ask me, what is it useful for? I will hit you with your laptop and tell you to try again. That's why it's pretty. We build mathematics because mathematics is a human language. It is a liberal art. It is 4 of the original 7 liberal arts. So folks like that, that's what we do. I am one of those people. Dr. Steinberg does an awful lot of work with numerical semigroups and abstract algebra. We do work because we think the math is pretty. Another chunk of our faculty, they do applied mathematics. So they're doing mathematics that's there to solve real world problems. And our big research areas are, typically speaking, data science, machine learning, working with big data, so hard statistics, hardcore big statistics, and mathematical biology. We do an awful lot of work with the Forest Service on tracking, say, animal populations, modeling chronic wasting disease. Before Dr. May jumped ship, we were doing work on carbon and biomass deposits in forests. So using mathematics in the service of biological problems. One of the problems or challenges on the math side for what we do is because we don't have a graduate program, it's often very hard to go and get math, externally funded research in mathematics for non-graduate students. It's just a challenge. You have to go out of your way to ask for it. And there tend to be a couple more hoops that the faculty have to jump through. And more specifically, on the data science side, if I have a mathematician, a math faculty member who's really good at data science, those punks over in the electrical engineering computer science department can offer them $15,000 more as a base salary based on their worth to South Dakota than I can. So a data scientist at a base level in South Dakota is worth $15K more than I am, which is fine. They do real work. I'm not a useful mathematician.
Not bitter at all, are you?
Sorry?
Not bitter at all.
Yes. I don't care is the fact that I can't keep good people. So then I have a problem that I have these gaps all the time, and then it hurts all the students. I mean, that's the problem that I've got with that one. The other thing that we have faculty do research on is SOTL, the Scholarship of Teaching and Learning. So think STEM education research, but for people who are not math ed trained in that one. We've had a long-standing line item grant with NASA and the South Dakota Space Consortium to do something called computational astronomy. It is a national workshop. We've had students who've come from as far away as Puerto Rico and Hawaii participate in this. And it's a K-12 professional and curriculum design workshop series. The department itself has a mandatory 1-year research experience. So every math major in their senior year does what we've modeled off of grad school research. They have a research advisor. They spend the first semester farming out a problem, reading about the problem, shaking the problem, shaking down into fundamental bits, proving data on it, and then they spend the second semester learning how it is that mathematicians communicate that in our discipline. Through technical papers, through presentations, and more recently through posters. Math is really late to the whole poster game. That was not a thing our discipline did for a long time. If you've ever gone into the McClory building up on the 3rd floor, you start to see some of the posters. of the work that our students are doing, and you'll sometimes see the little plaques that are next to them, whether they won an award, whether they presented that at a national conference. Our math majors very often go to the MAA sectional meeting and present their work. It gets peer reviewed, it gets submitted, it gets shown to a peer group of mathematicians. And as tiny as we are, I think we are the school that has the second most undergraduate presentations at this program in like the past 20 years. We tend to keep it busy on the undergraduate research side. Just to have an idea of like the things that people do. These are just research projects from the past year. We had work on elliptic curves and using this for cryptography. So this is elliptic curve cryptography, which is a quantum secure form of cryptography. We have students who are doing work on tensor arithmetic. So tensors, y'all remember your matrices? Cool. Imagine a bunch of matrices stacked together. So now you can multiply this way, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way, and you could do like transposes across different axes. Imagine all of the new algebra you would have to learn about that. Really, because no one knows what it is yet. It's not well defined. It's still being fleshed out as a toolkit. But it's exactly what's needed a lot of time for machine learning and data analysis. If you know anything about a perceptron or an attention block that's used in a large language model, those are just tensors with different words attached to them. So there's students who are doing work on those. There is a very famous algorithm, a very fast decomposition algorithm for tensors. It's still, I think to this day, it's still the fastest tensor decomposition algorithm. One of the co-authors of that is Dr. Brayman. So if you want to know about tensors and who wrote the book on tensors, she's up on the 3rd floor. You can talk to her. We have students who do work on combinatorial game theory. We have students who did population modeling for actual, this is the reintroduction of wolves into an Alaskan wildlife reserve. We had students who were doing work on modeling DNA as a topological ribbon. We had students who do work on fraud analysis for insurance claims. A pair of students actually who did this. So the range of research is very, very wide. All right, where are we going? What is the vision? What are we trying to do? Like I said, we're primarily a service department. My job is to make sure that we give all of you all of the training you need to be good scientists, to be good engineers. But that means is I got to make sure I have enough classes for all of you. I need to make sure that we get to classes that are there. So we're working to increase the availability of the classes, making sure we have in-person sections at most of the times, making sure that we have online sections so that whatever your schedule is or what you need, we can make sure that you get the courses in a timely fashion. We want to work with programs to make sure that we are offering the right kinds of math courses. So, for example, addition of linear optimization and time series analysis. Those are things that data science needed. We also teach a 700 level statistics course now because that made sense for enough of the grad programs. We update the courses too. If you took Calc 2 here, all of you went and did linear algebra stuff. You all did some matrix stuff, you all did some vector stuff, because that stuff was really useful in Calc 3 and in differential equations and in statics. And it is not a Calc 2 topic. Every other Calc 2 program in South Dakota will spend that section doing polar coordinates and parametric equations, and will leave you to remember how to do the algebra when you get to it. So we made that change because we knew what it was that our students were taking after, and knew that most of them probably hadn't seen a matrix since their junior year in high school. So or if at all. So we want to make sure that we added those things. I am looking to get a slide rule coordinator. So someone who's a lecturer who has a course release every semester to help manage that. If any of you remember Jeff Winter, he was our slide rule coordinator. So he interviewed the tutors, he did all the payroll stuff, he made sure that the place was running, that the kiosk was running. He also made sure that what instructors were doing was translated over to the tutors, and the questions that the tutors were getting were translated back over to the instructors. And he was also the liaison with Lisa Carlson when she was running student success. Right now we don't have that, so it's just kind of an all hands on deck. Again, the faculty make sure that we're providing what it is, but it is sort of a chaotic, it's a little bit more chaotic right now. And of course, the things that we were working on with those P2C2, the pre-calculus to Calc 2 courses, we're never going to be done making sure and looking at those hard, because that's where success happens on this campus. And if you want data, I can give you more about that stuff. Okay. So we are a small department, and our goal is really honest. I'm not trying to go and make a big department. I would like to get to around 50 to 55 students all the time. That would put us at about 2% of the undergraduate population. Right now we're 1.8% of the undergraduate population. If you go to Colorado School of Mines, and you look at their math and statistics department, you know what population undergraduate maths or math and stats people are? 3. Go to Michigan Tech, you look at their math and computers or math and statistics department. You know how much of the population of the undergraduates theirs is? 1.5. The United States Bureau of Labor Statistics interviews people who are in STEM careers every 2 years, and they ask you, what kinds of undergraduate degrees do you have? The number of people who have an undergraduate degree in mathematics always ranges between 1 and 3%. This is what the market will bear. If we were to somehow get up to, I got 100 people on this campus, we would be the single most successful math department on the planet. That's just not going to happen. This is the goal that I would like to get to. Make us a little bit thicker, and maybe we can offer a little bit wider selection of some of the 400 level classes. You know, if you're into double E should all take complex analysis, but I can only offer to you once every 4 semesters. If you want to take some other classes, once every now and then. So that's what we're trying to go and do. On the program side, we revamped the program to have a whole bunch of free elective credits. The free elective credits are for our majors. It allows them to get a minor to specialize in the training in a specific field if they want to be an applied mathematician. We added specializations more recently in data science and actuarial science so that we can give them very specific coursework. The flip side too is we actually worked really, really hard to remove the restrictions for students who wanted to get 2 degrees. For a while there was confusion as to whether or not if you were getting an ABET degree, could you double major or did you have to dual degree? Did you have to get the extra 30 credits or not? And so I have worked with Darcy Grace, I worked with Diana Eastman, and that rule at the BOR level has been removed. Anybody in any of the BOR schools can double major or dual degree, regardless of what the courses are, regardless of how they're accredited. What that means is any engineer who wants to double major with math, 36 credits of your engineering class, plus all of your gen eds, plus any of the math you took for your degree, is already counted. I get to double count that. And so you really only need to take the math and the theoretic training that's needed to sort of widen your vocabulary for mathematics. For a lot of majors, that can vary between 7 and 15 credits. It's not a big jump. You had a great question about like activities and things like that.
Ask you that too.
So this right here is the Data Miners. So this is the School of Mines Data Analysis Competitive Team. It's a venture between math and computer science. The teams are graduate and undergraduate. We compete in a number of competitions every year. We will be competing in Mini Analytics, which is the one that happens every spring in Minneapolis. I don't know the exact dates, but I can find that out for you. That team has never come back empty-handed. They win every time they go with something. We also have, we field teams for the Putnam exam, which happens usually in December, so that one has passed. We often field a team for the International COMAP Modeling Competition, which sounds really, really cool, but basically you get an open-ended problem and 5 people get hopped up on Monster and Pizza for about 5 days, solve the problem, write a paper, send it off, and then they fight against Cambridge and Oxford and the University of Beijing. I will point out we've never won that, but every one of our teams has always been a team of merit. We're always one of the papers that get shown as this is what the papers are supposed to look like. So we do what we do, and we do it well. Final questions. These are sort of close to like how do we maintain what we're doing. Our program, even in its sort of new revised version, is aligned with the Mathematical Association of America CUPM guidelines for undergraduate programs. If you care what they are, I can tell them to you. We also make sure that the course learning outcomes for each of the service courses are aligned with the ABET ANSAC criteria. So that's the one that would accredit us if we ever decide to get the math department credited by ABET. But we want to make sure that we are in alignment with the kinds of things that all of you in your ABET accredited programs are going to get taken a look at. Every one of the faculty is evaluated by a combination of student surveys, things that we call course summary and assessment reports. So those are reports that look at student performance, feedback, what they were doing in terms of the program, what they were doing in terms of the class. We also do in-person and we do peer review. Peer review is something that we're starting right now. And pretty much every faculty meets with me at least twice every semester during that first week, and we review all of their student opinion surveys. We review what their course evaluations say. We try to flesh out where there are issues that need to be fixed, where there are issues that we want to pay attention to, what are the things that are like, cool, you get to talk about this in spring, because in every spring, we review entire learning outcomes, and we will go and take the entire curriculum and the courses that affect that and put them under a microscope. We change policies on things. We used to have a MAPLE learning outcomes for Calc 1. We've dropped those because students are coming in later in the sequence. We've updated what those outcomes should look like. We've changed some of the things that we do in the placement for differential equations that come out of these reviews and talking to the other programs. I think I am done. So, questions?
Senator Meyer.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the slide rule, and like I came in and it helped me out so much because I did Calc 1 in high school, and then I came into Calc 2 and I didn't even know what USUP was. So I was behind a couple weeks, and so I had to learn what that was. That helped me out so much. But I was just thinking, COVID affected generations in multiple areas.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering if you were looking ahead in the future, just like how are we planning to help people that were affected in different growth areas?
And that was a lot of what went into sort of the redesigns on the learning outcomes and what we were doing. For example, in 2023 and 2024, we were relying on limited mastery in the Calc 1 sequence. So we could identify skills, and then if a student didn't have a set of skills, they had a chance to come back and learn those skills, had a chance to not do well the first time, then come back and adjust those things. There's a lot of data that suggests that full mastery approaches are a good way of pinpointing and identifying what's going on. A number of us are engaged in groups with the MAA. So the MAA puts out a report about what had happened after the pandemic. Where were some of the deficiencies that we were seeing nationally, and then how could we address some of those kinds of things? For example, one of the deficiencies that was coming out was that a lot of students were coming into their college education with very little experience just writing anything down on their math. They were all on online platforms like MyLab or something, which is great if you're just trying to solve a quadratic. But now you're in different equations, or let's say you're in Calc 1 and you have to do an applied optimization problem. And there's all those little steps, and students had been not practicing that. They hadn't even been told that that was a skill they needed. And so we introduced a written workbook. Some of the instructors are pushing away from using MyLab as a tool. Not all of them, but some of them are making this as a pedagogical choice to address these kind of deficiencies. Okay. So yeah, we are constantly looking at those. We see what the MAA puts out. The MAA, by the way, is the professional society who focuses on collegiate teaching of mathematics. And so we're using them as our North Star.
Yeah, so it's just a step-by-step.
Yeah, exactly. No one has the silver bullet, and everybody, that big spike you saw was what everybody saw in math programs right afterwards. And the trend line has been going down, and I am hoping that we've seen the worst of it, and we kind of know what the new normal is. We kind of know what people are coming in with right now. But it's a learning curve.
Senator Wright, do you have a question?
Yeah, this is a multi-part question. SOTL, are there any events happening in Rapid in the spring? Second part, are there any similar events happening in Rapid in the spring? And then lastly, are gateway exams still a requirement for math courses, certain math courses?
So the answer to your first two questions is probably no. The ones that I know that are happening, the SOTL affiliated ones that I know are happening, are going to be happening on the Front Range, or they're going to be happening in East River. Okay. So I don't think there's anything that's happening here. There is something called the TIE Conference, and the TIE Conference jumps back and forth, East River, West River, but I think they're on the east side this year. In terms of the gateways, gateway exams are still being used in Calc 2 sequence, so the 1-2 gateway. Some kind of gateway assessment, some kind of skill-based mastery is being used in Calc 1, but what it is will vary a little bit on the instructor. Some of them like the two-pronged one that had a lot of problems on. I'm using the shorter version where I have, here's an isolated skill. And so you have a lot of little ones, and I'm using the idea that you get 3 in class, they're just free. And then after that, students come and talk, and then they get the feedback on what they need to improve, and then they can retake them as long as the semester is running. So the answer is yes, but they're not the exact same ones across Calc 1. They were the exact same ones across Calc 2.
Senator Bobadich?
Yeah, you mentioned complex analysis, and I know you're a huge component for people, especially in the WE department, taking complex analysis. There's a lot of faculty from the WE department pushing hard against people taking complex now.
Really?
Yeah. Pushing everybody to taking linear algebra instead. Actually, WE students cannot graduate now if they don't take linear, and we don't use
So, I'm a complex analyst at heart, so it hurts me to say this, but if you were going to go and ask any engineer whether they should take complex analysis or linear algebra, they should take linear algebra. I think that is the right call. If it's a one or the other, that is the right call.
I was going to ask because there, in some of the courses that I'm in, some of the professors are realizing now that there's things that the students aren't learning that wasn't complex, that they would love for people to know and have these understandings already set. Is there a way that there could be a course of combining complex and linear to be able to offer state space introduction, but also bringing in that complex analysis into it?
Short answer is definitely a possibility. What I'd probably have to do is I'll meet with the WE folks and what would go into it, and really the big numbers would be how often would it run, and will we make sure that it fills. There are people who will go and take it, and then we go and teach it. The hard part sometimes is there's a course that nobody wants, but maybe you'll get all 10 people every third semester or something, and then it's sometimes hard for anybody else to plan on that one. I'd love to be able to do that one. As soon as you get a little bit more complex just arithmetic and a little bit more linear algebra early on in their training, I think we would do a much better job at campus. We have actually pushed to try to get the prerequisites for linear algebra downgraded to just, hey, have you taken an algebra class? Because you don't need Calc 3 to do linear algebra. Hell, Calc 3 would be a lot better if you had linear algebra tucked underneath your belt. The challenge with that is that the two linear algebra courses that are currently in the system are common numbered courses, and so you cannot tinker with their prerequisites. So what we'd have to do is we'd have to build a new course and then somehow convince the Board of Regents that it's different enough from the other ones to give it to us. It's not hard to go and do, but it can be tedious, and sometimes you'll just have a regent who's just, well, I took this version of the class, and it's a sticky wicket with them.
I think I'll wrap us up with questions here. First off, I don't know how many of you have had Jill Trimble, but she's been wonderful. I had her up when she was still our opponents.
That you shall not be named?
Yeah, shall not be named. But she's been a wonderful addition, I think. But then, this is a broad question. How can Senate help the math department? What ways can we be involved? Can we help?
I'm trying to think. Once upon a time, I would have had a canned answer. The canned answer would have been to help advise students that the calculus sequence here in particular is built for this campus. The order of topics, the inclusion of non-calculus things into the canon, the inclusion of where we cover things is designed to lay the bedrock for the most number of the engineering programs that we feed. If you jump ship and you take your intro sequence someplace else, if you take it at the same institution, that's better than splitting it across different institutions, but calculus can be taught early transcendental, late transcendental. It can be taught at different midpoints. And so students who take the coursework at different institutions are going to get a piece. It doesn't matter how good the instruction is. They're going to watch the same story told by two different directors who stop it at different points. Things are going to get missed, things are going to get lost, and there's not a specific target audience for them. So for a while there was the issue of people who were, a lot of students were taking online courses at BH, at SDSU. And a lot of times we would have students who just jump from university, and we're having a hard time with that one. Of late, I crunched the numbers this semester, and there are a grand total of 10 students across P2, C2 who are taking math away from lines. So I think some of the word is getting out. That would be the biggest one right there is, I don't need you to always take it here. If you're in BMIP, I don't need you to take our Calc 1 because our Calc 1 is training engineers for Calc 2. And maybe you don't need that. In fact, we're trying to come up with something that might be a better fit for the programs who don't need that version. But that idea that if you're going to go do this one course someplace else and understand who their target audience is, because things will get missed.
Got it. All right, well, thank you much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Yeah, you all are free to go. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody.
We're going to clip right along here at Mach speed. Unfinished business, Vostead B26F001, Hard Rocker Wrestling. This was presented last week by Senator Keel. There have been no adjustments to it. Do I have a motion? Senator Sensen.
Motion to vote.
Motion to vote, seconded by Senator Boucher. Mr. VP, please call the roll.
Baumeister.
Aye.
Holler out now.
Byrd.
Aye.
Butcher.
Aye.
Cant.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Halsted.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Jessen.
Aye.
King. Aye. Clobber.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Salcido.
Aye.
Sattler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Senchen.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Stolman.
Aye.
Severson.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Jamalowitz. Motion passes.
How many yeas?
24.
4 yeas. All right, thank you all for doing that. Moving on to Vostead Wee 26S002. This is going to be the Orem Newspaper Club. Senator Severson. Motion to vote, seconded by Senator Clausen. Mr. VP, please take the roll.
Baumeister.
Aye.
Byrd. Butcher.
Aye.
Cant.
Aye.
Clausen. Aye. Graham.
Aye.
Halsted.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Jessen.
Aye.
King. Aye. Clobber.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Salcido.
Aye.
Sattler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Senchen.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Stolman.
Aye.
Severson.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Jamalowitz.
Aye.
24 yeas. Motion passes.
Wow. We're going to do this every week, huh? Moving on, Vostead Wee 26S003. This is new business, yes. And we are on to the appointment of ROTC Senator. Presented by myself. We're settle down now. Whereas there currently is vacancy for the position of ROTC Senator, whereas Dominic Durding has been found to be a capable and willing member of the ROTC and good academic standing, and noting the power to nominate a special senator appointment has currently been granted to myself. Therefore, be it resolved by a majority of you and the signature of myself that Dominic Durding be appointed as ROTC Senator. Do I have a motion? Senator Jessen.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Seconded by Senator Boucher. All in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Do I have another motion? Senator Baumeister.
Motion to vote.
Motion to vote. Second by Senator Severson. Mr. Vice President, please take the roll.
Baumeister.
Aye.
Byrd. Butcher.
Aye.
Cant.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Halsted.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Jessen.
Aye.
King. Clobber.
Yep.
Keel.
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Salcido.
Aye.
Sattler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Senchen.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Stolman.
Aye.
Severson. White.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Jamalowitz. 24 years again. Motion passes.
All right. Give him a round of applause, please. Beautiful. All right. I'll have you come up, Senator Durding. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Durding. Okay. We'll swear you in here. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. As a member of the Student Association Senate
As a member of the Student Association Senate
of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology,
of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology,
I state your name.
I, Dominic Durding,
Do hereby affirm
do hereby affirm
to uphold the office of ROTC Senator,
to uphold the office of ROTC Senator,
to abide by the Student Association Constitution,
to abide by the Student Association Constitution,
and to represent the Student Association to the best of my ability.
and represent the Student Association to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. All right, and with that tide comes resolution number 26S004, presented by me, whereas Dominic Durding has been nominated and appointed to be the ROTC Senator in the Student Association Senate, noting each senator is assigned a committee appointment for their term, And whereas the Student Association President recommends Senator Durding serve on the Government Relations Committee, and therefore be it resolved by a majority body of you and signature of myself that Senator Durding be appointed to GR. Do I have a motion? Senator Baumeister.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second, Senator Severson. All in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Do I have another motion? Senator Butcher.
Motion to vote.
Motion to vote. Seconded by Senator Clobber. Mr. VP, please take the roll.
Baumeister.
Aye.
Burke. Butcher.
Vincent.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Durden. Graham. Halsted. Hill.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Jessen.
Aye.
King. Clobber.
Aye.
Keel. Meyer.
Aye.
Salcido. Sadler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Stallman.
Aye.
Severson.
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Jamalevich.
Aye.
That is 25 yeas. Motion passes.
All right. Look at that. We're all done with the bills. All right, here we go. We're going to roll like a steam engine train, people. Open discussion, parking change recommendations. I have the one noting from athletics. Chase, would you like to describe that?
The
Parking change recommendations?
Yep. So over the weekend, there were a few tickets administered to the basketball teams who were parked at King Center. They were in Salt Lake City and got back at 4 a.m. And they were ticketed for overnight parking. And so I proposed that President Voss said bring forth a resolution to where we can create the gravel lot on the side of King Center to expand that to overnight athletic parking in cases of late night arrivals and safety concerns.
Now, are they normally ticketed by campus safety or the police on campus?
This is the first time it has happened since I've been here.
Okay.
This is a parent that gets the policy is so fuzzy, no one actually knows what it is.
Got it. Now, you were talking they had a card or something that they put in their window, or
Yeah. So the procedure before, and it's held for all the student athletes who live off campus mostly, but they have like basically a limited time parking pass that the athletic director signs, and there hasn't been an issue up to this point. The issue is for these people that they live in Placer, and so there's the parking pass doesn't extend up to King Center if you have the parking pass that's in Placer. But I think there should be an extension of that just due to safety concerns and obviously those late night arrivals.
VP Wee.
Just to clarify though, the proposal is for athletes traveling specifically, not just athletes all the time?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha. Just for overnight travel.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Senator Burke.
So is there a limit to like the amount that the athletic director can sign, or like can you just take down the yellow parking pass?
They're only valid for a certain amount of time. I would agree, maybe you take down the parking pass, but that just seems like that doesn't fix the issue itself.
So you're saying that people off campus get the card, and it works for the people off campus?
Correct.
To park up there, but the people from Placer can't just take down their parking plaque and put it there?
Senator Keel.
Yeah, so these two permits came to the Parking Appeals Committee today. The rule is, and I'll quote Kathy for this, athletic permits, they're issued through athletics for commuter athletes with a red parking pass while on away trips. Athletes must park in designated lots specified on their permit, and the permit must be displayed. Athletes must have purchased a permit to park on campus, so it only applies to red. Student athletes who have housing permits, orange, yellow, or green, must be parked in their lots. So they get ticketed whether or not they put it up or not.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So that's where we're getting at. So maybe the policy would just expand to if you're living in on-campus housing. Go ahead, Senator Keel.
So what's the concern? That people don't like to walk across campus?
Well, if it's negative 30 out and they're walking from the King Center to the Placer, it could be a safety issue, or if somebody's coming down, is on meth, coming down from the apartments and getting ready to kick the crap out of somebody, it might be a concern, I don't know. Senator Keel?
I don't know why the time of night matters, because I lived in Placer for a year, and I walked back from Surbeck at 11 o'clock at night, midnight. I don't see why 4 a.m. when you're an athlete I would think an athlete could outrun trouble if they had to.
Senator Keel. Or, excuse me, I'm sorry, Senator Stolman.
Another piece with that though is oftentimes you have those big overnight bags and equipment you have to carry and manage as well.
Senator Michelle?
To my knowledge, as a member of campus safety, it shouldn't be a problem for them to void those tickets, and at the same time, it's difficult to, at the same time, just prove that you had that permit at the time. It would be, how do I put it? It would be just, I don't know who put out those tickets. It might have been one of the new officers, since you haven't encountered that before. But I just don't know if this problem is, I mean, of course it adds the time to the student who doesn't really want to perform the ticket. I don't see the situation in which this should be such a problem to change the policy.
All right, Senator Clausen, Senator Baumeister, and then I think we'll cut it off.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I don't really see the problem. Like I've heard a lot of like it's so they can walk home when it's cold, or they don't have to walk away when it's cold. It's not like they're taking it to parking during the day that much, or like that often, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, what would be the problems with this? Like, I just see it as a good thing.
To having the change?
Yeah, to having the change.
It's a fair point.
I think it's good.
No, I think it's just a food for thought question. Senator Baumeister?
Yeah, I mean, my question kind of feeds off of that. I was just going to mention the parking change with regards to graduates, which is kind of underway, it's getting some of the kinks worked out.
Yep.
Is graduate students feel like they should be able to park closer to their faculty buildings or buildings that they work in, because they work such long hours and they are employed by the school, and most of them do not even pay to go to school here, they are paid by the school to be here. They recognize that a lot of blue parking is with faculty, and they use those spots during the day, but faculty are not here at night when the research graduate students are here, and they would be willing to pay an additional fee in order to get a specialization on their tag that would allow them to move their cars in the evenings from the stadium up towards their building when faculty aren't here, when they're not using those parking spots, and be able to park closer for convenience, whatever, safety, however you want to propose or trying to argue that. They'd like to be able to park overnight closer. Obviously, in the morning, that car would need to be moved, but they would be willing to pay like $20 more in order for them to have that specialization on that tag, which would help generate more revenue for
Yep. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. Chase, Josiah, if you can put your explanations for these changes into a document, send them to me. These will just be recommended to Geraldine, to the university cabinet, then they will be voting on them at the second reader. All right? Moving on. House Bill, excuse me, Senator Meyer?
I was just going to say, I'm going to talk about HB 1133 in my report, so if you wanted to just move on,
yep.
I can talk about it.
It's a good, depending on how you look at it, it's an interesting bill.
Yeah.
Senator Keel.
Just the point that you said, whatever documentation that they write up should be approved by this entire Senate before we push it on, right?
So I'm just so a recommendation.
Is this a recommendation from the Senate or from you?
No, this is not a recommendation. This is a recommendation from a student, because any student can recommend changes to that. This will not be on behalf of the Senate. I just wanted to hear any explanation.
Or we could,
Or we could, but I have a feeling that there's going to be different opinions, and I don't want to waste the time, so this is going to come from the students themselves. I'm going to say from Chase Stolman, who's an athlete. He says he wants this recommendation with nothing Senate attached to it.
If that's all you want, I mean, you can still get. It doesn't have to happen today.
I think we can do better personally. I mean, we have a parking committee for crying out loud, so we can I think we can brainstorm solutions and come up with solutions within this body. I just don't think we should do that right now. So we can move on from that discussion.
The next University Cabinet meeting is not until next month. So if you can just craft up reasoning and stuff, I can look at crafting up resolutions and we can go from there. If we want to on a full set.
I think it's more powerful if we can all agree on a
That's
solution
true.
and propose that.
Yep.
So.
Wind turbine redesign or redistribution. I'll make this quick. Larry Simonson, as you saw, the wind turbine's down on top of Greek Hill, and they're looking at repurposing it. They don't know what to do with it yet, whether it's just going to be recycled or turned into they thought about turning it into benches, cutting it lengthwise in half, turning it into benches on campus, the curved part, right? I want 3 to 5 people's input. You can either do it now or you can email me about if you think what should be done. Anything now? Put it in BH as a prank.
How big is it?
It's, what is it, 36 feet long? Something like that. It's
Well, what's the diameter?
Oh, let me look here.
I can pull up a photo. Hold on.
We'll do this real quick. All right, diameter of the base is 4 feet. Length is 75 feet. That's of the tower.
Okay.
It's quite large.
So anyway, Senator Wright.
Would any camp teams or senior design groups benefit from this?
It's a good question. He's working with the, which department is he working with right now? The Humanities Department?
So, I guess if I can elaborate on the ideas that have been fielded so far, just briefly, one idea is just to get rid of it completely, another idea is to revamp it, put it back up. Another idea is to turn it into some kind of monument or something that we erect elsewhere on campus in various forms.
Senator Clausen.
I'll make this quick. To my understanding, I was told that it didn't work because the company that built it went out of business. That's why we couldn't get the parts to fix it. So I'm not sure if revamping it would be worth it. We'd have to basically completely redo it.
Yeah. And that's what he said in the email as well.
Okay.
Senator Sessions.
Cut it in half, put it in grease, and make it a slide.
There's an idea.
You want that minutes?
Yes, please.
Yes. I'll tell that to Larry. Thank you. All right. I think that'll be, if you have any more ideas, just email them to me or live. Moving on to CFO report.
SOAP hearings are this weekend, UMI 246, that's the Pete and Sons Lecture Hall, and a report.
All right. Sounds good. VP report.
Okay, so thank you all for helping with the leadership story and those of you who showed up. Can I get a show of hands for people who want to help me go through all the feedback we got from that and maybe document some things for the future and make future plans? Okay. Let me write this down.
We got Severson, Boston, Salcido, Jensen with a big smile.
Okay.
Anybody else? Seeing none. Oh, right.
All right. I'll reach out to someone. Thank
Last
y'all. And then this is a project that started last semester and didn't really have enough time for, but the video board around the survey. They're run by student engagement. We tried to run a video recap that was given to us by athletics, but for whatever reason the system was super glitchy and did not play the videos correctly. I suspect it's not really a hardware issue, and that maybe with the proper software we could actually play videos and make it like a super engaging thing. So I'm going to be reaching out to a fellow from ITS and then, or I don't know exactly, probably ITS. But if anyone wants to help me with that as well, let's see a show of hands with that.
Sweet Malovich? Sweet.
Okay, perfect. That's all I need. Thank you. And then last one is a reminder that we have elections coming up. Believe it or not, nominations for president and VP open 7 days from now. So the 4th of February. So if you're thinking about, joining back on Senate, I think we've done great things this year. I appreciate your motivation and your ideas and your hard work. And I think there's a lot of potential for continuing to make Senate bigger and better next year. So be thinking about that and considering that. Thank you for the report.
Senator Meyer.
I'd like to talk with you and, well, either of you and PR about that.
Okay. All right, moving on to my report. I don't see any other questions for VP Weed. All right. Let's see. Shed, I'll give a little update there. It was wonderful. The governor came to talk to us, the lieutenant governor came to talk to us, the Secretary of State, and the CEO of the South Dakota Community Foundation, which is where a lot of the scholarships come from. The Build Dakota, the Opportunity Scholarship, all those different things. So it was really informational time. It was bigger and better than ever. Monday was good. We got to talk with legislators and lobbyists. We got a lot of funny pictures. Oh boy. I'll have to make a presentation. It'll be a Senate bonding night. Some wacky stuff went on, but it was all fun. We had a good conversation at the social for the Go to Mines Day, talked with more legislators there, the Attorney General. Did all of you have fun, the ones that went?
Yeah, and there was a big fish.
Oh, there was in the hotel we stayed, there was a piranha. And it was massive, and he was gooking and gawking at it. It tripped him up for a solid hour. He just stood at it and just laughed. Anyway, he's got pictures.
His eyeball.
Yeah. No, it was interesting. Anyway, so thank you all again for doing it. And hey, whoever's taking over next year, keep that going. Keep that going. That's what we need. It was so much fun. The mayor is coming in the Student Senate. Mark that down. February 18th. He's going to be a big day. He's going to talk about the city, how mines can be involved. We're getting more involved with the city as we speak with how we hosted that TIF open forum. They want to be more involved, so he's coming in. It's a big day, February 18th. And then I've had a lot of good ideas on swap drive and parking and marketing and everything. If you all have any ideas for improvements or any issues, keep the emails flowing. I love it. You just direct it, and we got wellness and everything, so keep them coming. Anything at all, just send them my way, send them Clive's way, and we'll get things started. StuFed update, let's see. We're going to be working on changing the Constitution for StuFed potentially, if we can get support. We're looking at hosting another meeting in the spring for StuFed to work on just interstate connection, meaning between the Regenta University's east side, west side. I'm thinking, this is on video, oh well, I would like to get dignitaries, meaning next level up, meaning Thune, Rounds, Johnson, to come to a meeting for StuFed, and it could be themed like a pre-kickoff to America 250. Don't know where, don't know when, could be mines hosting, could not be. I'll keep you updated. But if it is, that'd be a big thing for us, all right? That is all that I have. Any questions? VP Weed.
I'll just add on to the commentary about getting involved with the City Web. Councilman Lance Lehman coming to campus, and we're trying to give them a tour of campus, get them excited about, bridging that gap between the city and mines. That's going to be on Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. We'll be meeting in Survey. So if you happen to be there, I think that would be pretty dope. You could share about, what you're passionate about in mines. Maybe we could go check out some of your secret hideouts.
Senator Jensen.
Who is it? Sorry?
Lance Lehman.
And then the next thing is, can we get access to the tunnels during that tour?
Gerald can probably arrange that. We'll ask her.
We should.
That's not the greatest thing to emphasize at mines here.
We can have them.
But it would be cool.
Senator Smith.
Is that this Friday?
This Friday, yes, correct, this Friday.
You are aware there's a blood drive going on in the Survey Center this Friday?
Well, you can see other people give blood.
Yeah,
okay,
and he might be a vampire himself.
Just so you know.
Senator Severson. Yep, we can send an email about it. All right, moving on. International.
No report.
No report. All right, you still got ISI Friday though? Okay. Good food?
Reports.
Who's serving? Do you know?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll have to come and find out. Vet.
Oh boy. So February 28th is going to be the Nemo Outhouse races. We're going to leave early, probably like 08. We could push that if some of you kids need to sleep in a bit. But it's going to be mostly all day, coming back probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There will be carpooling available. There has been some interest by the Senate. However, we are not requiring that you participate this year. So come out, have fun, and Next year you can do it for ourselves.
BBW.
Who do we talk to if we want to carpool out there to Nemo?
Talk to me.
Okay, so
Yep. We'll keep that as simple as possible. And I got a brainwave from the vets. Use your windmill as a prop for a stage play at Don Quixote.
You got Don Quixote and Light Brights money?
You know what?
That's public.
It's
public.
It's
been 100, like.
The plays aren't.
The play is not a public domain. Plays are
When
different.
people rewrite the play as a play, it becomes not public.
Off topic.
Factual.
It is factual. Thank you, Senator Hill. ROTC report.
We're going to be working the monument this week for the 50 raffle tickets, so if anyone's going, you guys should support ROTC.
For the rodeo?
For the rodeo.
That's why I got my cowboy hat here. I get a free ticket because of that?
They won't win, but we'll give you a ticket.
Oh, okay. All right. Brown knows in points, I see. All right, graduate report.
Yeah, if anyone's interested in going for the graduate degree here, don't, but if you really are going to, you can get free donuts the first Friday of every month.
Wow.
Beyond that, no report.
You look so enthused, Mr. Gomez. All right, any questions about donuts? Seeing none, moving on to, what do we got here, non-traffic.
Dean Joe's office is working with ICS to find a workaround solution for the non-traditional student email list.
Okay.
In the report.
All right, moving on, Constitution Committee.
So, Senator Tance, we have to coordinate because I think you and I are trying to get the same work done and it's causing me a headache. So, if, I don't know how you want to do that, but we're both trying to get the same information and then I go and talk to ITS and they're like, well, somebody's already doing this and I don't like the idea of Senate trying to get all this information. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Phone numbers, coordinate.
Yeah, so please do something.
Any other updates?
No, just,
okay.
It's tough out there.
PR.
Okay, we got a lot of media content from Shed.
Okay.
I wanted to say thank you to both you and Clyde for organizing such an amazing shed this year. So, and then thank you to all of you who did help us with making the media content. We will miss Gus, the ginormous fish, and hope that his living situation will improve. Bureau will be having its first committee meeting on Monday, and expect the February newsletter by next week.
Okay, wonderful. Any questions? Moving on to GR.
Okay, so first I'll start with the HB 1133. So that was kind of like the only bill that actually applied to higher education thus far. So basically what it's talking about is last year we had the SB 100 that went through and it was talking about how you have to have you can use enhanced carry, concealed carry, and you can walk around campus with it and do all that. This one is kind of a cleanup bill, is what it was proposed as, to remove the enhanced part and just go straight to your Constitution carry, and that's it. And so, what we're planning on doing, we just had it in our meeting, was we're going to try and knock out a poll for students, and this thing is meeting February 2nd, which is Monday, and our goal is to get a stance from students submitted to them, which is Sunday morning, and so we're going to try and get that carried out, see what student opinion is, and if we don't want to do that, let me know, but that's kind of, we're trying to get it through because it's coming up fast. If you have any other questions about that, let me know. But we're going to try and get the survey sent out tomorrow, so if you have any issues or any comments, let me know. Cool. Yeah, so we got a monument fundraiser time locked out. That'll be in March, early March. It's for state basketball, and so it should be a really good turnout. But we'll see how that goes. We're gonna try and get a beach ranch between now and the March one. And that should be pretty good. I think they have a decent turnout. And then one thing, we're kind of doing this as a bonding / fundraising event, is doing a Senate Bake Night. And I was just curious, I wanted to raise a hands, like how many people would go to Jake's house and do a Senate Bake Night?
Well, no news to me. But I would allow it.
In general, how many people, like, we've done this in the past, and it's literally like 5 people bake, and then the rest of the people hang out and have fun. So there's decent interest.
We would have food and drinks and all that stuff. So.
And then we would do a bake sale in the library.
Yeah. Jensen.
No,
You have a comment, Bomeister?
Yeah, are you not only now volunteering to lodge, but also to provide refreshments?
Limited. There's the key word.
Okay, cool.
All right.
And if there's anything that your orders, like competitions, like an example is Baja, if you're doing any competitions or anything that's involved, Anthony's been asking about it, but just tell it to Anthony. We're trying to think of things that we can report that the city council could get involved in. Like, it's just like, oh, like this is things that are happening in Rapid City, or things that Baja won a victorious first place and we did a great job, right? And so like something like that. That's what we're thinking. And Alfredo, you're going to talk about the railroad real quick, right?
Yes. Yesterday there was a meeting for the, I don't know if you guys heard, but the Rapid City Rail Yard Relocation and Railway Reconfiguration Study that was released, I think, like December 16th or something of last year. But yeah, and they had a meeting yesterday, and it was about relocating the rail yard that's over by Campbell Street. And if they do so, it'll improve the traffic that we have. So, and then it also brings talks as to the railway over here too. So, we have any comments on that?
Does that mean that there'd be less trains, so less noise in the morning?
No, but it also brings in, talks for that.
What was that, Alfredo?
It brings in talks for that. So.
Got it. Are there subsequent meetings scheduled?
Not as of now, because they just did it yesterday, so I think they'll be releasing it.
Okay. Senator Smith?
I have a question about House Bill 1133.
Yeah.
Why did we not hear about this before?
Because it was literally like the day of Shed that it got.
It came out Sunday evening.
Okay.
Right during the banquet.
Perfect.
I was pulled aside by Bailey, the student president. She's like, have you seen this? I'm like, I can't handle this right now.
Because I had multiple students that when I talked to them about Shed, they were concerned that we didn't know about this. So I'm glad to hear that it was not, an oversight.
And multiple of us, I know, talked to the senator, the representative that posted it, and so we gave them some opinions.
Yeah, to alleviate your concerns, the prime sponsor of SB 100, the predecessor of this bill, didn't even know about it when I was speaking to the prime sponsor of 1133. So that's how sudden that was, or how out of the blue, if you will.
Okay.
And I talked with Senator Sattler right before the meeting, and I think if we can get the survey and get some good results, I don't know what, good is an immeasurable thing, but if we can get some solid results from students, I would not be opposed to having one of the GR representatives virtually testify at that committee meeting in Pierre on Monday morning, if one of you would like to do that.
We really got to get cranking on that one.
Yeah, we'll talk. It's going to be big, but if we can do it, it showcases where we stand in the state.
That's Monday morning?
Monday morning, it's coming Monday.
At 6:45.
At 6:45 a.m. So it'll be an early one, but it's going to be an important one. If we were still in Pierre, I'd have us going to it. Senator Bomeister.
I'm kind of jumping the gun with Clausen here. We are, I believe we talked about it in our meeting about.
Yeah, they're working on that.
Yep. All right, moving on. Essay committee.
So I'll save some of this for next week as it's not time sensitive. Let's see. Yeah, we're sending out a survey for GR about HB 1133. The SEAL Team 6 survey thing is getting put together. Yeah, that was supposed to go out last week. I apologize. We were just having some issues. students coordination and should hopefully be out tomorrow. Junior report, juniors were pretty shy, but I did get one good thing. Students would like to see a requirement for professors to include a tentative course schedule in their syllabus. I'm not sure if this is already a requirement and some just don't do it, but that's a thing. That's a comment that we got.
What? Tentative course
schedule. Course schedule, like a layout of like what the course kind of looks like throughout the year. Like, hey, we're probably going to be in this unit at this point.
Thank you for that.
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Any questions? All right. Moving. I'm sorry.
Just make sure to keep tabs on the anonymous comment form. I haven't been checking for these.
Okay. And then I got that question template for the department heads posted in the Teams and in the email. Wonderful job. I know Jack helped with that and other people, and that's great. So thank you for that. I think we have department head meetings coming up like almost every week now. So tonight was good. It was very thorough. I feel as others probably won't be as thorough, but this was good. So anyway, let's move on. Do I have any ad hoc committee updates? I'll provide one for commencement. The email about December 2026 commencement being the last fall one is going to come out in President Tandy's message. That may or may not be read by a lot of students, so I may request it to be sent out separately as well after that message is sent, but I want them to have them do the due diligence and do that. Senator Burt?
No, I've talked to a couple people already, and they're already kind of, for lack of a better term, pissed about it.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to hide it in President Taney's message because they know no one sends it. Like I read every single email, and I skip that email 95% of the time. So I think it's very unfair towards everyone on campus if they do that. So I would also be pushing towards that. I believe it should have a big red headline that says everyone is getting screwed here because apparently they can raise tuition, but they can't afford that. So, yeah.
There we go. But Senator Meyer, that's a succinct way to put it, yeah.
I know I was talking to a couple seniors, and they're just like, now they're also like, I have no clue when and where and what I need to do for graduation.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, like, I know there's a lot of people out there that are just kind of like, am I like missing the ball up here, or like, am I?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, if you could like maybe bring
it needs to be conveyed clearly. VP week.
And that's this, like this.
December 20, like, yes,
no,
that's coming
spring,
December.
Spring, I'm talking about. Spring.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about seniors are going, I have no clue what's going on. Like,
oh, I see. Okay, for the spring's graduation.
Yes, yeah.
I see. Okay.
So
good to know. That's very good to know. VP week.
I just want to throw out the idea that maybe we could work with the alumni center to reach out to every student who's ever graduated in the winter. And maybe they'd like to help keep it going.
Maybe. It's a thought. Senator Keel.
Yeah, so parking appeals, I might add, that is our committee's name, parking appeals, that's what we thought.
I'm sorry, I'll change it.
Well, there is a difference, is my point, right? Anyway, so, because all we do, my point is, we instead of meeting now, Kathy just sends us once a month the appeals that need to be made. I did mine today, she sent one out yesterday. Some dreams were crushed, some people were pardoned. That's just the way it goes. That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else on ad hoc? Going once, going twice. There's a meeting coming. Oh, I'm sorry, Chase.
SAC tomorrow for the basketball games, and we'll also have a station in the library. They are putting on a swap drive for potential bone marrow transplants. Actually, one of the football players had surgery last week to donate some of his and save a life. So please encourage your constituents to consider that. So yeah, we'll be in the library from 10 to 3, and then go to the basketball games tomorrow night.
Okay.
Show up tomorrow night for the basketball games, white out.
Senator Severson is helping market some of that?
Yep.
Okay, all right, or PR, I should say, you, I'm sorry. And then there's an update coming next week, Senator Stolman, on athletics, committee update coming next week about what you found out?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Wonderful. Senator Salcido.
Dining met on Friday, this past Friday. It went successful. We talked about our concerns, and they're currently doing some improvements, and the improvements will be made in the future as well.
Okay. Senator Clausen.
Will they be buying more forks?
Yes, they're buying more forks, more plates, and more cups.
Got it, okay. There's an update with wellness and athletic collaboration there. We're having a meeting at 3:30 on Friday about open courts and about how Senate can help display social media and all these different things with David Crum and Rob Sales. So that should be good. There's a lot of stuff for campus beautification that I'll get to you guys on later. It's not pressing. So upcoming Senate business, I want to do a Senate bonding event. I guess that's going to be baking at the lodge. I don't know. So we'll make a date for that. Announcements next week is the career fair next Tuesday. Get prepared for that. We might need to be putting out some social media stuff, advertising that. Maybe PR can go and do a little, how do you feel, whatever. VP Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're Student Senate, we're in some ways a professional organization, so if you feel like you need help, like looking over resumes and stuff, like reach out to me. Like I'd be willing to look at stuff if you want, or if you need a headshot real quick, look at you, or LinkedIn help, whatever, let me know.
All right. Anything else? Any other announcements? Senator Jensen.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, seconded by Senator Meyer. All in favor, adjournment, say aye.